Hi, my name is Dean Vennerman, and I'd like to share with you how I integrate technology into my classroom. I currently teach at Archbishop MC O'Neill Catholic High School in Regina, Saskatchewan. I've taught for over 20 years, and I've taught a variety of subjects over that time, including social studies, communication media, and a host of others. But right now, I'm currently teaching math. I'm the education leader for math and science at my school. I've also included some information there. My Twitter is at Vendy55. I have a blog and e-portfolio at deanvenderman.weebly.com, and feel free to email me at d.venderman@rcsd.ca if you have any questions after this presentation. So basically, throughout my teaching career, I've always tried to integrate technology in my classroom, and it's been a really a great journey and a great adventure. Uh, Basically, the pedagogy behind it, you can see in this diagram here. I try to use a SAMR model where I go from just substitution, where you could write your notes with your hand, or you could type them. That's substitution. Or I try to get all the way up to redefinition with, for example, when I use Minecraft in the classroom and getting the kids to collaborate and share and do something that they couldn't just do traditionally with paper and pencil. And I'm trying to incorporate 21st century skills, like with the collaboration, the communication piece, um, all those 21st century skills that I think are really important to have students succeed, uh, not in the environment that I was brought up in, but with the environment that's currently in their future. So I think that's a really important point that I think teachers need to realize today is that we don't need to teach students the way we were taught. That way is a little bit archaic in my opinion. I think we need to integrate new ideas. So that's what I've been trying to do my whole career. And if I said I had it all figured out, I'd be lying and I'd go do something else. So it's been definitely a great challenge. And I have a little website there that you can go to read up more about that. Some of the tools that I use in my classroom, well, I'm very lucky to be part of the RCSD Connected Educator program currently at my school. So I have a class set of 30 laptops with mice and all that. I also use a class set of mini whiteboards to do work on too, and that too. So I've been really lucky the last couple of years to have these tools at my disposal. But I've also booked labs in the past. I've applied for and got an iPad cart in my classroom too. So I'm always looking for ways to integrate technology. But these are the tools I currently get to use. So my students are very fortunate right now. They get basically a 1-to-1 ratio every time they come into class. So I always try to promote digital citizenship with my students, and that's one thing I think is really important. And so does the Saskatchewan government, as I put a link to the guide there. So I always try to get students not only to the do's and don'ts, but just how to carry yourself properly and how to use your smarts when you're using the digital processes in any ways. So one tool that's been great for me has been using Minecraft in the classroom. It's right now I've just been loving it. It's getting better and better. I started out small with just having students submit projects to me back actually when I was teaching social studies. So now I've really incorporated into my math classes, and I have students creating and actually building based on math class concepts we've learned in class, and I found it to be very motivational for the students, and it really shows me their understanding and unique in ways that they never could have before. So definitely Minecraft is a go-to, and I've seen a lot of good things come out of that. I've also used OneNote quite a bit with it, and what I like about that is I allow students to basically explore their learning in a variety of ways. So when I'm doing some teaching, they can follow the notes, they can add to their notes, they can do their own notes, I can do interactive work with them, they can submit things, they can see it and give them instant feedback. They have all their notes digitally, they can go back and do that. So I find that to be a great tool for their learning as well. Another thing I've tried to work hard on is working on formative assessment. One tool I've found very useful is Go Formative. In fact, I've been lucky enough to be part of the formative team in creating things. So I really love the instant feedback that formative gives. I think it's just been amazing. And the students have a chance to assess for their learning rather than just a summative assessment, which is something I hold dear to my heart and trying to get better at for sure. Another tool I've been using a lot is Skype in the classroom. I've been trying to do mystery Skypes where my students meet kids from all over the world and try to figure out where each other are. I've also done a couple Skypes where we've compared the cost of living in math classes. So like the picture you'd see here, we talked to a friend of mine that teaches in New Brunswick, and we had a list of objects and items that students might buy, and we found out how much it would cost in both Saskatchewan and New Brunswick, and then we talked about the differences in that. So it was really rewarding, and I love Skyping and sharing. I share a lot of my Minecraft success with students and teachers throughout the world, which has been great. Another way to share student voice is using Flipgrid. I love using Flipgrid as a tool. I've used it in this picture you see here, an entrepreneurship class where we actually talked to entrepreneurs and the students left them questions and got help. I've also used it in math class where we've talked about concepts and students have had to do like little mini labs and talk about math and getting more students to verbalize math rather than just being passive with it, being more active in it. Another thing I use a lot in my class is Genius Hour. I've done Genius Hours in the past where I've given students a class a week just to explore something that they love. And in this case, in the picture you see here, one student used Minecraft, and he entered a contest that he saw and ended up winning our school a class set of laptops. Another thing I strongly believe in and I'm trying to get more into is incorporating coding into my classrooms. Coding, I think, is a very important skill that students currently and in the future need. There's a big gap. It's almost like learning another language, and I think we need to look at coding as an important part of our school, and to be able to have students not only just consume the technology, but also create with technology and be able to make their own technology and to understand some of the words behind it. So I think coding is really great. Also in a math class, it's great for computational thinking from my point of view. Also, too, a fun thing that I've used in my classroom is Breakout Edu. It's kind of like those escape rooms. I use a little bit of the gamification in my classroom when I can. I do so in this. We'll hide different tips and clues around the classroom, and the students have to collaborate and work together to try to open up all the locks that are on that. So again, that's been a lot of fun using that as well. Where I get all my ideas, where I try to get better is by growing my professional learning network. Twitter has been my go-to. I do a lot of Twitter chats. I like to share. I like to read what other people are saying. I've met some really good friends and some good educators on here, and I just use it strictly for educational purposes. And it's really, I think, definitely made me a better educator. But I've also been lucky. There's a lot of communities out there, such as there's a Microsoft professional learning community, and I've become a me expert, which there's a bunch of tutorials and stuff that you can find, but it's also allowed me to meet people from around the world, which has been very grateful. And there's a few other not activities, but a few other communities out there too that I'm a part of that have definitely inspired me and have definitely given me a lot of ideas. Well, that's my quick explanation of how I use technology in my classroom. I hope you found it interesting and informative. I could go a lot more, but then I'd talk a lot longer, and I wanted to keep this short. So I'm not sure whatever's next. I just want to keep my ear to the ground and keep on trying to get better. Like I said before, if I have it all figured out, I would go do something else. I love meeting new people, love sharing. I love trying new things with the kids, and I think the kids appreciate that too because I'm not as afraid to fail. Sometimes I do fail with things, but we keep on failing forward and learning from our mistakes, which I think is another important thing that we need to teach our students. So, yeah, I hope that if you want to get a hold of me and dive deeper into some of the things that I had there, I'd be more than happy to share. Thanks again, and hope you found this interesting. Have a good day.